Welcome back to another episode of the Stick 'em Up podcast. After a brief hiatus, we are finally back after 1 to 2 months off. We just had a bunch of other stuff going on that we had to focus on. But nonetheless, we're back. Playoffs are in a couple of days. The regular season is over in a couple hours, to be honest. But yeah, what do you want to say, Luca?
We're just going to recap just end of the season for both of our favorite teams. And then we'll just kind of look at the playoff picture when it comes to the games that are already set that start on the 17th.
So, without further ado, we'll just jump right into it. What do you think about the Detroit Red Wings end of the season?
Well, I was just reading all the information, all the press about Steve Yzerman's end of the season conference, and he basically said all the right things that the team did take steps in the right direction. Our goals against is significantly better. Our power play and penalty kill are better. We still just have to work on 5-on-5. He's addressed a lot about the kids and when it comes to people who need to step up for next year. He talked a lot about Raymond and how he understands that there are sophomore slumps, but has faith in that he'll be the player that he was basically drafted to be. And honestly, you can go on and on about what he actually said regarding the team as a whole, but in all honesty, it's basically this summer is going to be a big one for Steve Yzerman when it comes to what he wants to do with all the assets he has, from picks to prospects, and what type of players he wants to add. Obviously, a goal scorer is definitely needed for what we struggled in with 5-on-5. So.
Yeah, I think all in all, it's obvious to say that the Red Wings took a huge step from last season. And, they were in it basically up until the last month, 3 weeks, really. They were in the hunt. I don't know how they weren't a threat by any means, but they were in the mix, you know what I mean? They were in the mix just as much as Buffalo was, but obviously Buffalo pulled ahead a little bit. But yeah, honestly, there's really nothing to be disappointed about. I think you wanted Nedeljkovic's season to go a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I don't think you wanted to play. I don't think you envisioned Hellberg as your backup.
Yeah.
But again, those are things you can't predict about, and obviously the goaltending stuff. And it's Lalone. It was Lalone's first season, getting accustomed to all the guys and stuff. That's why I think Raymond and Sider picked it up, but I think that's why Raymond and Sider had a rough start to the season, a rough first half, because getting acclimated and stuff like that. Because obviously Jeff Blashill was a horrible coach, but he was accustomed to starting to coach younger players. Mm-hmm. He was 2 seasons into it, towards the end of his tenure there. But I think Lalone give him and there's just tons of cap space that you guys have this summer too. There's not really many notable free agents, but I'm sure with a trade or something like that, you can improve. Because I think it's really just the defense you need to start bulking up on.
No, I agree. And I think probably before in the coming weeks we'll probably do an off-season outlook for both of our teams and what needs to be done.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that can honestly that can go on for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So. But yeah, there was a lot of bright spots with the team too. Wallman was amazing. Mm-hmm. Soderblom's brief. The start was very good. Mm. Although he was hurt, Rasmussen, I thought he had a good year.
Yeah, for as much as I've hated on him in years past, and even Lalone said that he actually meant a lot more to the team than what a lot of people actually saw with just their bare eyes. And us as Red Wings fans, we actually did notice that the moment he basically got injured. And yeah, he.
Who I think he could turn into? Maybe not the production, but kind of like a JT Comfort.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking more I think he has more offensive upside. Comfort doesn't this guy.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I knew that.
I was going to say, because I don't think Comfort, or the guy I'm about to say, has ever put up 50 points. He just had 55 points this year. Comfort.
Yeah. I
was going to say like a Blake Coleman, just a third line.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. But yeah, obviously that's down the line. But basically what I'm saying is Rasmussen had a great year too. Surprising resurrection from Olli Mata, I think.
Yeah, at one point he was our leading defenseman.
However, we're not going to go into it, but your left side of Mata, Wallman, and Sherratt is not the prettiest, especially now you got to get Ed in there.
Well, I like the left side. We have to figure out what we're going to do with the right side because Sherratt can play left or right.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You probably want Ben Sherratt playing on his left side, though.
Yeah, I want him on the left side because, that just goes for any defenseman. You want them playing on the hand that they're accustomed
Unless you're
to.
a top pairing, that doesn't matter.
But I'm fine with the left side. Olli Mata, he did perfectly fine this year. He was honestly better than I expected defensively. I was worried about him. I knew he wasn't going to be an offensive threat. That's just not who he is. But
he had that breakaway shorthanded goal, though.
Yeah,
Won the last few games, right?
Just as everybody expected him to do. But the right side, we just got to figure that out. I mean, after Sider, I mean, you don't need another Mo Sider. You just need a good top 4 defenseman or a solid top 4 defenseman.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know what you're gonna find because the free agent market it's when it's all said. Whenever we get to July 1st, there's not gonna be many stars. I mean, they're gonna get a lot of good players, obviously, because it's every year. But there's no notables where you can upgrade dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, in the presser, Eisman even said that between Evansson, Johansson, and Wallander, there's 3 guys who can challenge for spots. I mean, Evansson has the best case considering he played games, and he looked pretty good. I didn't really have that many complaints. Mm-hmm. Him now, compared to the beginning of the season, he was not very good at the beginning with like preseason and training camp. He looks a whole lot better. He's starting to refine his game a little bit. Wallander has played the right side in Europe, and I forget how many points. I think he almost put up 30 points as like a 19, 20-year-old. So he might challenge for a spot, or he might.
Don't you also have that Emil Viro?
I don't think he's really going to become anything, which, I mean, that's fine. We have so many left defensemen. If he doesn't pan out to be anything, that's totally fine.
I mean, and defensemen just naturally take a little bit longer, too.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be just an AHLer and then like a call up whenever like there's bad injuries.
Yeah, but all in all, as a season, I mean, probably the special teams you want a little bit work on.
Our special teams improved so much. We had like.
Oh, I thought you said the power play was bad.
No, the power play was finished 18th. Last year we were dead last. Penalty kill was 17th, I think. We finished last year dead last. It's just the 5-on-5. We were 20.
I thought it was the complete opposite.
No, we were 22nd in the league, I think, for goals for, like just regular goals for. So.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at the other teams that like just missed the playoffs, aside from Philly, Detroit's plus minus definitely or goal differential stands out the most.
Yeah.
Which, I mean. Goal differential, I think, does matter in looking at a team's overall performance. Because, like, if the Penguins made it a -2, you made it as a minus. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's like you're definitely not playing smart hockey. So
for the longest time, the Kings were like a -2.
Yeah, and now they're like. I mean, we can get into it later, but just to see right now, plus 23. That's insane.
And when they were just like a -2, they were like 10. They were comfortably above 500.
Yeah.
Which is,
but I mean, the whole theme of this podcast, I feel like it's always going to be is the whole goaltending thing too. It's like. I mean, I don't know if you're going to keep Nedeljkovic. Probably not. But if you do, just say you do. I don't think he's going to be that bad. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I'm personally not a fan of his game.
It's fine.
I'm perfectly fine with Husso. Yeah, his numbers dropped off at the end of the year. He was getting overworked because there was no faith in Ned and Hellberg. How much can he really take?
Especially when you're kind of in the race, like we said.
Yeah, he's not even. I don't even know you can really call him a backup. Hellberg, that is. I mean, Husso towards the last 3 weeks played with an injury. That was just released as well. So actually, that wasn't just released, but it was reiterated in the presser. So yeah, a better backup is definitely ideal. But we'll get into all of that for both of our teams.
Yeah, I'll say probably with that. I think that's a good way to stop because the other team, there's definitely a lot more to talk about. But, like, overall with Detroit, I mean, everyone, like, the Atlantic next year, that's going to be the best division to watch. The Atlantic, hands down, without a doubt.
There won't be like, Montreal won't be, like...
But they're going to be so much better.
They're not going to be, like, I don't want to say pathetic. They're not going to be just like an easy game. You can walk in and just take points.
Yeah, I mean, they probably will finish bottom of the Atlantic, but, again, at least until they get all their injuries like they always do, the start of the season, they'll definitely be better. And I think we say all the time, too, it's like, it's not necessarily which teams are going to make the playoffs and miss the playoffs before, like, predicting it. It's more so who's going to get hit with the injury bug the most versus who's going to get hit with it least.
Yeah.
And how are those teams going to be able to bounce back from it, too? But that's the most unpredictable thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, with that, we'll definitely move on to the Pens now. And, I don't know. I don't know where to start. I guess we can start what happened today, I guess, firing Berg, Hextall, and the assistant general manager, probably a couple other guys too.
I forget his name.
Yeah, I mean, there was rumors from the past, since the Chicago loss, that they were going to fire them in the near future, and those rumors were right. They're gone. I couldn't be happier. But now it's just, what now? You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. What do you you watched that? I mean, it's the Chicago game. That's what we're here to talk about, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, when it's what now for like that question, you can't really give an answer because it's the day or two after the regular season ended. For
the emotions are so like fresh and pure right now.
Yeah, that goes for every team. Like for the Ducks and letting go of Eakins, it's like who's the coach for when the Red Wings let go of Blashill last year, was who's next. So
Yeah.
I can't really give you an answer of who will replace, like, for sure. I guess it's more so whoever you bring in, you just have to actually be aware of, like, what the team you have right now and, like, what they're capable of. Because I've said this to you before, and it is the honest to God truth. If the Penguins are in a situation where the Red Wings were in, where they kept going for it and going for it, because it's like, yeah, how could you not? You know what I mean?
I mean, you have to. I mean, I'm sure every other fan base doesn't care and wants them to, and so happy that they miss. But it's like, when you're an actual fan, you actually understand. It's like, of course they have to go for it. Mm-hmm. Why would you rebuild with Sidney Crosby putting up a 93-point season?
Until he basically wants out of Pittsburgh. Like, I'm not saying he will. But
Fenway Sports Group said he's never playing a game in any other jersey today.
Yeah, okay, that defeats my scenario. But that's kind of what I was going to get at. In, like, a parallel universe, if there's a world where he wanted out, like if the Penguins were just so bad one year and he wanted out because he had 1 year left or whatever, then yeah, that makes sense. To.
Oh yeah, I mean, if this is if it's the last year of his contract year and at the deadline Penguins are not in the playoffs, it's gonna suck. But you're gonna want to see him win a cup. It's gonna suck that I don't even want to talk about that because that's just ridiculous to talk about right now. But basically, it's just you need to bring in a guy who knows what they need to do. And honestly, whatever GM they bring in next, he really has the easiest job. Because you literally know what you have to do. You got to change the goaltending. You got to fix the right side of the defense up, and the whole bottom six needs reworked. Like with the Penguins' top six this year, everyone in the top six had 20-plus goals.
Yeah, they were fine. There was nothing wrong there.
Literally, that is the only bright spot about this team is that top six. Both of the special teams need worked on, so all the assistant coaches got to get fired too. Goaltending, it's like. Tristan Jarry, you can't re-sign him, but it's like you're losing him for nothing because he's going to be UFA.
Isn't Vellucci the defensive coach?
Yeah.
You think he would go? I know Todd Reir's definitely gone. Like
everybody got to go except Sullivan. And I still have faith in Sullivan. I mean, I'm not sure how many other, but it's like that's the roster he was given. Both bottom sixes from the start of the season, how he ended it, that's what he was given. And the Penguins had no cap space this entire season to be flexible with it. You know what I mean? So as much as you want to hate on Sullivan, he tried everything he can. He played Jeff Carter as the 4 seed for the last 20-something games of the season. You know what I mean? Granted, it should have been way sooner than that. But and to be fair, like you said, Dumoulin was having those last 30 games. He was playing better.
I'm like the only fan of him. So
yeah, but it's just like everything else. I saw a good. I don't know who said it, but the other day I saw someone said it really nicely. It's Sullivan plays a fast-working system with slow players.
Yeah, I mean, because that's how you guys won the Cups. I mean, if you paid attention, you know that's how you guys won the Cups, was just based off of speed. So,
But in general, too, I mean, that Chicago game, that's what I mean. Like, when I say goaltending, we talk about Peter Mrazek, Sidney Crosby had, like, 8 shots on goal, and about 4 or 5 of those were, like, spectacular saves.
They were good.
I think he ended up getting, like, 38 or almost 40 saves that game, which is just, like... Dude, it was literally Peter Mrazek. You know what I mean? If it was Alex Stalock, I wouldn't even be surprised.
That's even still weird just to say.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, I don't know.
They're both bad, but for some reason Stalock had like above 900.
Yeah. And for all the people saying like, oh my God, why would Chicago want to win that game? They ruined their chances of Bedard dramatically for that. And at first I was saying that too. But it's also like, the players don't care. Half of those players aren't even going to be on the team next season. You know what I mean? They don't care about getting Bedard. No player does. They want to go out there and play spoiler. That's every team at the end of the season that's not in a playoff spot and they have to play a playoff team. They literally want to win just for that.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not surprised, but it's also like, dude, you can't let Buddy Robinson score. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
from above the circles.
How does he even get there? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't. So like that game is just. I mean, you can't say that the Penguins didn't want it. They want. I mean, like I said, we need to see the deserve a win meter or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they were literally controlling that whole game. It's just, I don't care how many saves Mrazek was able to make. You got to put the puck in the back of the net somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I did think they were going to win that game. I didn't know what would happen with the rest of the league when it comes to the Islanders and the Canadiens game. I really did think the Penguins were going to win that game. I'm not really sure if after the 3-1 goal, I think that was the Athanasiu bank or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I mean
I think that was the dagger. I think that's.
Oh yeah, that was Jari's fault, 1,000%.
Yeah, that definitely the moment that went in, you just the life of the team. Actually, just the arena, it evaporated.
That was it. There was no hope left. I mean, that game was just so frustrating because it's I don't know. That Columbus game, unfortunately, I watched it. It was so weird because the mood. I've never seen the Penguins play like that. They played good. I'm not even gonna lie. They played decent, but it was carefree hockey. And it's they're playing it because you don't need to care.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I don't know. It was just a weird kind of hockey that none of us are used to seeing. And I don't. Luckily,
you called the overtime winner. So
I did call Johnny Gaudreau getting the OT winner. But I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you think? I mean, the whole season was bad. Up until December, the Penguins were. I think after December, the Penguins had a below 500.
They did. I saw that thing from on Instagram. But
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's too early to tell the cap space you guys have for this upcoming offseason.
It's 20 mil or something.
You have 20 mil in cap space? Who needs to be?
I think it's 15 because of Granlund now. But it's Jari needs re-signed. I don't know what you're gonna do with that. And Zucker needs re-signed. And Zucker said he wants to stay. So hopefully whoever comes in, or Sullivan even might sign him himself because he's acting as the GM. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know Sullivan liked Zucker. Who doesn't like Zucker now?
Well, whoever signs him, just gotta be smart with the money and the term. He's 31. He's a good player. He's a good top 6 player. I saw there were some people.
He can't make more than what he's making now.
I saw some people saying try and get him for 3.5 mil. I was like, dude, no. He's not signing for that much.
Because this is the last time he's. I don't know. That's I'm not even worried about re-signing right now. But it's just next year, Ty Smith has to be a regular, or you trade him, because if he's in the minors at all next season, why? He's already 23.
I mean, yeah, you let go of Dumo, or will they?
I don't know, because if our left side next year is Pedersen, Podge, and Smith, first off, that's young, and I like it. I really like it. And then your right side's Letang, Petrie, and Ruda. If you don't trade Ruda, because you might. I mean, you didn't need him to begin with. You did not need Jan Ruda at the start of this season. But if that's the decor.
I thought you didn't mind when the signing first got signed. I thought you didn't mind it.
I didn't. The player itself I like, but it's you didn't need to spend more money because you already had Friedman and Ruhwedel. Now I get that technically Ruda's an upgrade, but it's why are you spending almost $3 million on a bottom pair defenseman when you have two of them that are under contract for 2 more seasons at league minimum? You know what I mean? It just makes more sense that way. So, and then with Jari, coming into this season, it was redemption season. I mean, that Game 7 against the Rangers doesn't even count last year because he was hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we could finally prove it. But I saw a thing today saying, I mean, Tristan Jari has left more questions than answers now. And next season, he could have a 925 and be a Vezina finalist. It doesn't matter because you can't bring him back. It's just, you can't take the risk anymore. And I think you'll be able to find a trade for DeSmith, too.
I do, unfortunately. I'm not saying this. I do. Well, I like Dumo. That's just me. And even for when he played bad, I didn't really care because I don't know.
But
I think he will stay just because, if Sullivan's acting as the acting manager or whatever, the acting GM.
But who knows how much free reign they're going to give him.
Yeah, that's also true, I guess. And it's also when they actually decide on a GM as well. So, but I could see him staying just because of Sullivan like him. Even if he's not the GM, because, coaches have a say on who GMs acquire and stuff like that.
You would hope so, at least. You would hope so. But, here's the thing, too. Re-signing Zucker and Dumo, on paper, yeah, it might be a good thing. But it's you're signing 2 31-year-olds to definitely, more than 3-year contracts. You don't need that.
No, that's what I mean. That's that's the Red Wings. That's what they were doing.
I get it, but it's you have enough. You literally cannot sign any. You should not sign a single player over the age of 30 this offseason. Shouldn't sign or trade for a player. It makes no sense anymore. It literally makes 0 sense. That bottom 6, O'Connor definitely will be there.
Paling's an RFA.
I like Paling.
I didn't see an issue with him.
Yeah, he's fine. He was battling through a lot of injuries this year. He couldn't get into a groove at all. I think there were talks about maybe buying out Carter because the way they made that 2-year extension was this season was front loaded with a lot of money. So next season you could buy it out. we'll see about that. I don't really want to do that because then you would have 2 buyouts on the books with Jack Johnson and him.
How long is that Johnson one?
I think it's like 3 more seasons
Yeah.
at like $1 million or a little bit under $1 million.
It ends at 2025, 26.
Yeah.
And just under $1 million.
Yeah, and then really it's like Granlund, you're stuck with that. You're stuck, which is horrible because that might go down as one of the worst trades. Not because of what you gave up. I don't care about the second round pick.
Yeah,
Second round
it's just
pick,
a matter of what.
It's
his
that term.
and
It's the term.
the salary.
You know what I mean? Danton Heinen, you can let him go. I mean, you don't need him. 2 years. I mean, it's nothing. He's nothing special. You know what you get with him.
Yeah.
Archibald, honestly, I really wouldn't mind to keep him as a 4th liner.
Yeah.
But definitely nothing over $1 million. You know what I mean? But again, these are all talks we can have in the off season. But it's just whoever's coming in though, you just gotta understand what it's whoever comes in has the easiest job. I feel like because you literally know what not to do. And I said it into a group chat earlier today. It was like you need to get a GM who's going to be able to work with Letang, Malkin, and Sid.
I think you need to get a GM that can work with those 3, but then also can work after those 3 are gone. After your years of.
And I don't want to say anything, but like that, those Dubas rumblings, we got to see because I mean, if the Leafs make it to like the 3rd round, I feel like they're going to re-sign him.
Yeah.
But Penguins fans, if you're listening, you are literally rooting for the Lightning to beat the Maple Leafs in the 1st round. And we'll get to that a little later in the episode, but that's best case scenario, I think, because I mean, you definitely know how much I love him, and I know you think he's pretty decent at least. But
Yeah, he's a good GM.
getting him, I think, would definitely like ease my mind a lot more of this team. So, and I don't even care how about that Columbus game ended personally. But again, it goes back to those 3 blown leads against the Islanders. You just win 1 or 2 of them, you're in the playoffs. The 4-0 game against the Red Wings that we went to, you're in the playoffs if you win that game. You know what I mean?
There was another game I was.
You win any game against Montreal, you're in the playoffs. You lost the game at home against the San Jose Sharks. That was an ugly loss.
What was that?
I think January or February.
I don't remember that game.
But I mean, it's just one thing after another. Like these and then not a single win against the Devils or the Hurricanes. I get that they're great teams, but come on, you need 1 win. You need a 1 win from both of them at least to get in. The 7-game losing streak at the start of the season, that was very ugly too. It's just all these things that are like it's blown leads and unable to get goal support. I think I was reading this one article today actually. If you give me a second to pull it up, it honestly puts into perspective how bad Ron Hextall managed to figure this out. So I'm going to read this out real quick, and let's see. So Pittsburgh at 5v5 this season. These are the goals for and goals against at 5v5 this season. When both Crosby and Malkin are on the ice, 5v5, 1 goal for, 0 against. It was 1 time or whatever. I shouldn't even said that. But when Crosby's on the ice at 5v5, 67 goals for, 51 goals against for a plus 16 differential. Malkin, 53 for, 50 against, plus 3. And then when neither Crosby or Malkin are on the ice 5v5, 47 goals for, 71 against, minus 24.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we already addressed that.
And
It's
then-
the bottom 6.
And then when they in the 56-game season when they won their division, when Hextall took over like midway through, but it was Rutherford's team. I mean, all Hextall did that season was add Jeff Carter. When Crosby and I'm not even reading that one. There's nothing. When Crosby was on the ice, 5v5, 40 goals for, 31 against, plus 9. Malkin, 24, 21 against, minus 1. And when neither Crosby or Malkin were on the ice, 66 goals for, 48 goals against, plus 18. Now, obviously, it's a smaller sample size, but still puts into perspective.
What was the bottom 6 that year? I mean, it was.
Aston Reese, Tanev, McCann, Bluger.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those guys.
Now McCann has 40.
And then not even to mention trading McCann to Toronto for Philip Hollander and protecting Teddy Bluger and Jeff Carter over Tanev and McCann. McCann has like 120 points in 160 games for the Kraken.
40 goals. The 40-goal score.
Literally, every single move that Hextall has made has been bad. Maybe the Carter trade at first wasn't, but after that, yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, there was another stat that I saw. Carter had like 40 points in 50 games before his contract extension, and he ended up getting, I think it was, let's see if I read it. Oh, yeah, so 50 points in the last 121 games.
It was never the trade that was bad. It was
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. It wasn't the trade that was bad. The trade was amazing. A second and a third, or a third and a fourth actually. No, it was 2/3. It was 2/3.
I know it wasn't a second.
Yeah, it was 2/3 for sure. 2/3 for that. I mean, and you retain on him, and you had an extra year. It was perfect. But I mean, now this is where we're at with Jeff Carter. This is literally what happens when you sign a 37-year-old to a 2-year extension.
Well, Ken Olin can tell you all about that. I can tell you that much. So.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not anymore, but he used to know about that.
And I also saw a quote from Letang yesterday. He was saying it was so hard for him to like get into a groove and like find his rhythm all season because his father dying, got hit 20-something stitches in the face, and then the stroke, and he still managed to put up 12 goals and 40 points in like 60-something games, I think, which is very impressive. It's not even the 40 points isn't that great, I guess, for what he was coming off of, but it's the 12 goals that I'm impressed by.
Listen, as a 30, was he going to be 37? 30?
Yeah, he's going to be 37 next year.
Listen, if a 37-year-old, I don't know if he's going to, but if he can get you at least 40 points next year, that's fine. You can't ask for anything more than that for a 37-year-old.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting offseason, to say the least. I mean, I can't even imagine what's going on through, like, Crosby's head right now.
I don't know. I feel like he also might have a say in, like, when it comes to where this team goes from that. Because that's what the Caps are doing with Ovi. They obviously sit down with him.
Yeah. And it's another thing we didn't even mention. You had 82 games of Crosby and Malkin this year.
Oh, yeah. I've seen so many things about that.
Like, that is the most embarrassing part.
I mean, if you would have said that at the beginning of the year, nobody would have expected that.
No. I mean, Gensel was almost fully healthy. Got 82 games out of Raquel. I think Russ was a little banged up and Zucker was a little banged up. Your entire top six basically played the entire season, and this is what you're left with.
Yeah, they were fine. They were not the issue. They played.
But then it's like what are the chances that everyone in that top six replicates that again? I think the only two players that might not are Russ and Zucker.
You don't think Russ would be able? I honestly.
I mean, for Russ' standards from the last 3 seasons, Russ had a down year technically. If you look into his stats. But, I mean, Raquel, I do want to see some more assists from Raquel because it's so picky, but like Gensel had like 37 goals. He didn't have 40. He had 40 like the last like 2 full seasons. So I feel like if Raquel passed a little bit better.
Well, why don't you message him and let him know?
But like for Russ, is this Russ? No, I'm on Raquel's stats. Yeah, 1682, his first full season. That's amazing. I like that a lot. And he had a lot of power play goals. And then last year in the regular season, 13 of 19. Raquel fits. And you only got, it says 2 games, but you only got 1 game with him. Because he got hurt like in the first period of game 1, and he came back for game 7.
Yeah.
So you can't even use Raquel in the playoff. Like, it's just so unfortunate about all these things that are happening. But, I mean, luckily, you re-signed, Russ had 46 and 81. And only missed 1 game.
My advice is like I said before, whoever the next GM is, and I think Penguins fans, even you, thought Hextall was doing this to also acknowledge that the core is getting old, that they're old now, but also looking to the future. As Penguins fans, I think they thought he was doing that by obviously not trading the first. That was like the first indicator. But obviously some of the other moves indicated the exact opposite. So whoever the next GM is, keep the same mindset of, go for it, make the wild card, get in.
You're not getting that division.
Make noise in the playoffs if you can, but you also just need to look out for the future. You cannot, because I can tell you what it's all about rebuilding for 7 years, 7 years.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of what they do these next 2 seasons while they're so competitive, they're still gonna have a long rebuild.
Yeah.
It doesn't, but it's the difference between a 5-year and like an 8-year. You know what I mean? Probably. But I think another thing too I wanted to bring up too, if they just got into the playoffs, I think people decided to I don't think they would have gotten swept, and I don't think they would have gotten 5. I'm not saying they would have made it to the second round against whoever they played. But I'm fairly confident it could have gone at least 6. Because this team was made, they play like a playoff team. They literally just needed to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know I just bash on everything except the top 6, but I know for a fact, I think people would have been surprised to see Pittsburgh do well in the playoffs this year if they made it.
Yeah, I mean, and I see a thing saying every time they played Boston, it was like a 1-goal game.
It was. We played Boston so well.
Or maybe except for the last one. You get the point.
Yeah, we played Carolina close every time too. It was New Jersey And, I mean, we played the Rangers well, too. We beat them twice. So, yeah, I wasn't worried about anything with that. We always – and played Tampa amazing. You know what I mean? Toronto we struggle with. But, like I said, we'll never know, which sucks because I really wanted to see Jari in the playoffs just to know. Because my answer would – if he did well in the playoffs, like, I knew it. If he did bad, it's like, okay, that's not your guy.
Right.
But now he couldn't even get you there. I think after his February injury, he had like an 880 save percentage.
What was the injury? Actually,
he had a bunch of different ones. Yeah, he had a bunch of different ones. He just couldn't stay healthy, which it's like that's even harder because like, if you're management, what do you look at that as? It's like, well, this is just a goalie that couldn't be healthy all year. Or do you look at it as can't trust him?
Right.
So, I don't know. I think we're 30 minutes in. I think that's plenty of time to spend on the Penguins because, like I said, for the Red Wings included, there's a lot that we can start talking about.
Yeah, we'll do a whole like segment on like off-season outlook because there's a lot.
But until the end of like the playoffs, I don't think you'll hear much about our teams. We'll definitely just focus on the playoffs and the storylines and everything that comes with that. So, with that being said, we'll spend probably like 5 minutes on each series that we have at least because I know there's 2 that still need to be solved. But, yeah, what series? You want to start with the Leafs Lightning? That's the easiest one. That's the one we've known about for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll tell you, I already know what you want, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's what I want. But I think we've even talked about it on previous, the trade deadline we definitely did. But I ask you again, who are you taking in a best-of-7 series? Leafs have home ice. Remember how the home ice worked last year? It rotated and then the Lightning won.
I don't believe in that.
I know. I'm just saying.
I will probably, even though we just lost 5-0 to them and Brian Elliott, I probably will take the Leafs. I think. I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning have hit 30 losses for the first time since when? I don't.
Oh, know. I didn't even know. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You say you're taking the Leafs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it's also like Samsonov isn't really that healthy. Matt Murray is out, I still think. So they have Joseph Woll, their backup. Dude, I mean, I'm taking Vasilevsky over Samsonov every day of the week.
I am too. I'm just worried about just how much the Lightning can just endure.
I don't like the Lightning's offense.
I like their offense. I don't like their defense.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I mean, their offense, I don't think you have to worry about. Braden Point just scored 50.
Okay. When I say that, I mean like their bottom 6.
Bottom 6, yeah, I can see like the Maroon line, Perry. That line, I don't really think you have to you can't really expect much from them. Like you'll maybe
it's fourth liners. They're agitating. Like you know what you're gonna get.
They'll make some defensive plays. They'll throw the body around.
But this is what I'm about to get at. Like what the back-to-back runs, that third line. That's what Tampa needed. So who's our third? I mean, Janot's out. So
Frauenlau.
I don't know. Dude, you got messed up last week.
I didn't even know that.
I know he's gonna be out a while. So if you're looking at Tampa's third line, I mean. They honestly mix match their top 9 a lot, so it's really hard. But I mean, you can assume Kucherov, Point, Stammer, Cirelli, Killorn, and Hagel are your top 6. So then your third line's Paul, Colton, and Easymont, or
well, apparently you said he's good for
Yeah, I mean, what's he? I mean, I don't even know what he's doing in 2 points in 15 games.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can't really expect much.
Yeah, so. I don't really like that third line that much. I mean, I like Colton, I like Paul, but I mean, a third line you need all 3 players.
Yeah,
it's not like a top 6 where 2 guys can just take over. But is that going to make or break the series? I don't know. It also depends what the Leafs' third line are like because the Leafs lines change every day. Yeah. I don't think the Leafs keep the same lines ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's also I will take the Leafs, but we say this for however many years for the Lightning, maybe probably the past 3, that Vasilevsky can just seal a series.
Yeah, but again, it's just eventually he's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, eventually he will, but it might not happen this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, obviously, I want the Lightning to win it, but, I think I'm going to agree with you. I will take the Leafs because it's just dude, they have to win at some point. They got that. O'Reilly's back and healthy. That's good. There's really no... I don't think they have any other injuries now that I think about it, off the top of my head. I really haven't been following hockey too much because I've been depressed with the Penguins, but from what I remember, yeah, it's Muzzin, Robertson. Yeah, they don't really have any injuries that I'm aware of. Yeah, I don't know. I know Leafs fans are saying they really want Eric Gustafsson to be the PP1 QB instead of Riley. But it's do you waste a playoff defensive slot on Eric Gustafson just for the power play.
I mean, I don't know what Morgan Riley's deal is this year. I expected. Well, I mean, he had actually.
I always advocate for the guy, but I don't know if I can anymore.
I mean, he's a good defenseman, but he had 4 goals, 37 assists. He was a -9 though, which is a bit kind of not like him for like the past 6 years or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because it's so hard because Hedman, Sergachev, Chernak. Those are 3 amazing defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see. I got to take the Lightning's defense still. The Leafs have way more depth, though.
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely more depth, but they don't have a Sergachev and they don't have a Hedman.
Listen, we can have this conversation every day because this is like this series.
I mean, this is going to be the series of the first round.
Yeah.
I definitely the forecourt. It's so yeah. I don't know. They all have the star power. I think, like I said, I think it really is going to come down to like bottom 6.
Yeah, and
it has to.
Gotta see if Michael Misamon or whatever his name is, if he can really step up.
Because I think it was game 81. It was Leafs and Bulls. The game meant nothing, but I know they were going after Bunting because like he's just easy to agitate.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard like Bunting can't ever draw a call anymore, and they're always sending Bunting to the box for something
because
stupid.
he doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to draw a call.
Yeah, that's making me like it's like he's a hothead. You know what that's what they hurt your team more than they help. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I don't know. I think that'll be a very interesting series. Like I said, I'll say, you say 7?
Yeah, how can you not say 7? Well, I say this,
but if it's 7, there's no way the Leafs win, though, right?
Because it's Vasi game 7.
I'm gonna say Leafs in 6. I think they're gonna realize they have to win it in 6.
I'll get crazier and I'll say Leafs in 5.
Really?
I'm
not surprised by that. I don't think that's like crazy at all.
I don't want to take the same answer as you because Leafs. I mean, everybody's probably saying Leafs.
No,
6.
honestly, I think Leafs in 5 isn't even that. If that happened, I'll be like, wow. I'll just have to see how the games go, obviously, but I think that's totally fair because the juice is gonna run out for the Lightning.
Dude, they have played so much hockey the past 3 years. It is not
and dude, they've been so bad this last month and a half.
Yeah.
Well, not so bad, but like
not Lightning.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's we'll wrap it up there because I was like 7-ish minutes on that. Let's go to Devils Rangers. I think that's a good one.
That's gonna right as you say that's like the matchup of the first round. This could also very easily.
I'm so excited for this one.
This is gonna be a good one.
I have my winner. I think it's pretty easy.
Is it Rangers?
Yeah, I think it's Rangers.
I'll say Rangers, but I'll say Rangers in 6. I think that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. I don't want to agree with you again, so I don't think it's going 7.
Well, what was the season series?
All right, you know what? I'll say 7.
I want to know what the season series was between these two.
Because, again, it's Shesterkin versus Vitek Vanacek. You know what I mean? And now, don't get me wrong. I know Vanacek's had a great year. Mm-hmm. What has he got? Oh, man, he finished with a 9-11. He did play 52 games, which is a lot for Vitek Vanacek.
He played 52 games?
Dude, he played 42 last season. He played 37 in the 56-game season.
This very easily could also be like the first round series that everybody's watching.
I mean, I don't know because I like the Rangers' top 4 defense. As much as I hate the Rangers, I love their top 4. Mm-hmm. It's built for playoffs. But it's also like I don't like the bottom pair of Schneider and Ben Harper.
Schneider's fine. It's Ben Harper. Schneider's I thought.
Yeah, but Ben Harper, he does play that playoff style. He's an agitator or whatnot.
Is Mikkola like injured or is he on the second pair?
I think they just rotate him in and out. If I'm being honest, I just remember Ben Harper getting majority league. Just seeing them a lot more. But it's also because they have like no cap space, so they have to play with shortened players.
Right. Well, yeah, Schneider's not. I love.
Yeah, but like Hamilton, amazing. Marino, amazing. Severson's on your bottom pair. Obviously, I'm taking Severson over.
Schneider.
Yeah. Graves is amazing. Siegenthaler's amazing, and you just got Luke Hughes, which I don't know if they should play him in the playoffs.
I mean, I honestly think that it's going to go game by game with him.
Yeah, but
and that's the same thing with the Leafs and Matthew Nyes.
I do like the Devils' depth better than. Actually, no, because the kid line has been playing really good lately.
Wait, let me see their thing. I gotta look at their line.
I'm looking at the Devils roster. You should pull up the Rangers. I mean, because it's like Hughes, Heischer, Palat, Bratt, Tatar. You got Timo Meyer. I mean, how's he doing? I think 14 and 21. He's picking it up. He's picking it up.
When he first got there, he was a little slow.
Yeah.
Why am I right here?
But it's like I don't know if I take is Eric Haller like actually playing center?
Who's are you looking at right now?
The Devils.
All right, I'll look at the Rangers.
Because another
I
thing
think
too,
he is actually.
another thing too, you got people don't think about in the playoffs is face-offs
Dude, well, sometimes I forget how like the Rangers are set up.
and who gets first change to take out in the face-offs. Like, I think I like Zibanejad, Trocheck, and Goudreau face-off wise.
And Hedel.
And Hedel. I mean, I think he's the best one out of all the centers in that series. So, but like
Face-off wise?
yeah.
I was like,
But like Hughes, Holla, and
I don't know if Boquist plays center. I don't
whatever.
know if Bastion or...
But there's your answer. You know what I mean? Like, so I like the face-off game way more for the Rangers. But the Devils have home ice, which means the first two games they're going to be able to have the first change and get the matchup they want. So I don't know. I think I do like.
I mean, I can very easily also see the Devils winning. The reason why the Devils are good now is because their stars are being stars. They're young, fast. They're so fast. They're
Okay, but how is Jack Hughes going to be like in his first playoff game?
I can't tell you.
You know what I mean?
But it's also like he's going up against the Rangers, who I'm sure he's very familiar with.
I think Jacob Trouba is going to give him a very rough time.
I mean, he's probably going to give that entire top six a tough time. He's going to probably just...
It's going to be the same thing from last year with the Penguins. With Jacob, I'm willing to put so much money on it.
Yeah, he'll probably just hurt someone. But.
So, yeah. I mean, I think... Yeah, I'm going to say Rangers in 7.
I'll say...
Do you think it's going to come down to special teams, though? What do you think it's going to come down to?
I don't think like their special teams are like very. The Devils had a better power play by 2 spots. The Devils had a better penalty kill by 2 spots, and the rest is like pretty even. So I mean, I don't think it's going to be special teams. I think it's really just between the net, like you said.
Yeah.
One team has Shesterkin, one team has.
And we haven't even mentioned Tarasenko or Kane yet.
How's Kane been doing?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't. It's like what are you gonna get with Kane? What kind of like you know what I mean? Like,
well, he's been here. I think he'll be fine because he's been here for how many times?
Yeah, I know, but I don't think he's meshed well as much as people think. It did take him. He played better than his first like 4 or something games with the team. I know that, but I don't know. I think it's just gonna be really interesting because I think home ice. I mean, Madison Square Garden. I take a home game there over the Devils.
Yeah.
Wherever they play at. Because those home games for the Rangers last year were intense.
He didn't do bad so far. He's had 12 points in 19 games plus 1. Like, yeah, you would expect. It's Patrick Kane. You would expect more.
I mean, at this point for him, because he still has that hip problem, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. Yeah. I'm not going to bash on him too much. But don't forget, though, Andre Palat's on the Devils. And you know how clutch Andre Palat is in the playoffs.
He does like to come up at big times.
Yeah. And I know he was hurt for a good chunk of the season, but he still put up 23 points in 49 games. It's nothing crazy, but it's
he's a half point per game player. That's what he's pretty much always been. He'll get you 45 to 50, 55 points.
He does show up in the playoffs. It's a fact. So I think to conclude, I'm saying Rangers in 7 for sure, and I think it's going to come down to face-offs and goaltending.
Yeah, I'll say Rangers in 6 just to not take the same approach as you.
Yeah. What series do you want to do next?
I want to do Edmonton and Los Angeles.
Oh my God! I'm actually so excited for that one.
I just want to know who you have.
Dude, this one's hard because it's like LA could have very easily. Okay, not easily.
But yeah,
could have very well beat
Yeah.
Edmonton last year. I watched that series a lot. I think that the 2 series I watched, aside from the Penguins one, in the first round was LA and Edmonton and or Lightning and Tampa. And I watched those so much. And
the Tampa and Maple Leafs.
Oh, what did I say?
Lightning and Tampa.
Oh. But yeah, and I told you I tell you basically how much I love the makeup of the Kings. But I don't know. Stuart Skinner has been playing insane lately. And did you see like the Edmonton's record? Like they're like 31-8-3.
Dude, that's how they were last year. The moment they got Jay Woodcroft.
Yeah, I know.
They were like second half of the season. They were. It was some crazy record. They were really good.
I got the Kings cap friendly pulled up if you want to do Edmonton. But this is the thing. Like, I want to take LA because I do think they can make some noise. But it's like, dude, Connor McDavid just put up 153 points. And he had an insane playoff run last season.
And he almost scored 70 goals.
What is he going to be? What a Herman. And you're getting healthy Draisaitl, too. Don't forget that. I don't know.
You got Nugent Hopkins, who also just came off, who has over.
Oh my God, I
points.
forgot that he had 100. Yeah,
He has over 100. Evander Kane. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not writing Evander Kane like he's some game changer, but like, I don't know. It's.
I mean, okay. I think I'm saying. I got my. Would it go 7? It went 7 last year, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying Edmonton in 6.
I'm saying Edmonton.
Now, the more that I think about this, because it's like
I'm going to say Edmonton in 5.
Yeah, because it's like, you know what, I just realized why I got my answer quicker, because it's like, you gotta, like, as I'm looking at, like, it's center matchups, right? That's all about line matchups. It's like, I love Kopitar. I love Kopitar, I love Deneau. They are 2 great players defensively. They can shut it down. I don't care. You can have both of them on the ice. You're not stopping McDavid.
I know. I mean, I think Deneau did a good job. There was like highlights, I think, of Deneau.
Oh, yeah, he did good, but I mean, it was too much. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's the power play. It doesn't matter how good you are, you still have one less man.
Yeah.
And it already seems like that 5v5 with McDavid anyways.
And Stuart Skinner is playing too hot right now. So, yeah, and then the addition of Matthias Ekholm has been very good.
Oh, my God, that's been amazing.
The contract, I mean, yeah, it's a little rough. $6 million for the next.
If you win the Cup this season, though, I don't think anyone you would. I mean, people still might complain about it.
Yeah, it's ideally you probably want a little bit less money, maybe just a little bit less term. But I mean, he's been playing good. He has 14 points in 21 games. Yeah.
I mean, this again, it's going to be a high-scoring series again because I don't like either team's defense. After I like Doughty, obviously. I like Gavrikov. I like Dursey, and then on Edmonton, I like Ekholm.
That's what I mean. I like.
In terms of like defense, that's really it. You know what I mean? So I think, but then, and then in net you got Korpisalo and Copley. I think Korpisalo is a starter.
Yeah, he's been playing very good since.
That worries me though. I get that he's been playing good, but it's like it's Korpisalo against McDavid and Draisaitl.
I guess anyone against those two, it's kind of like.
But it's even like Jonathan Quick. If it was Jonathan Quick, I might have a little more. I'm being so honest.
Dude, he was horrible this year.
He was amazing against him in the round 1 last year, though.
Okay, but that was last year.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, it's Jonas Korpisalo. I get so
do not disrespect.
he has a 9.21 with the Kings in 11 games. He had a 9.13 this season with Columbus. I didn't even know that. But his last 2 seasons he's been horrible. But again, it's goaltending. I don't know what you're gonna get.
And it was Columbus because they're horrible. So.
Yeah, and you don't have Mike Smith to turn the puck over so many times and probably cost you 2 playoff games because I think he was the reason you lost at least 2 games.
So I think we have our winner right there.
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm saying Edmonton in 6. I'm saying
5.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I'm excited. I'm still gonna watch every game though because I still think Edmonton or LA can score. Just it's not gonna be as impressive as you might think.
Yeah.
So all right, who's next? You want to go?
You ready?
Yeah.
Hurricanes.
Oh yeah.
Islanders.
So this one's weird. I think.
Because you explain because you know the team's better.
Well, Barzal's back.
Yeah,
Barzal's back for game 1. I mean, so I get that it's still Barry Trotz's system to a certain extent, but it's like how much? Because you know what I mean. Because Lane Lambert, he I mean, you got to see him into the playoffs. That's already a huge upgrade, but there was major difference between how Trotz coached in the regular season versus how Lambert coached. I still feel like you still didn't get the goal scoring.
Yeah, which is
but
weird.
You have Ilya Sorokin too.
Yeah, because last year they were 24th for goals for. This year, guess what they were?
24th,
23rd,
23rd.
But last year they were 10th for goals against. Guess what they were this year? They were 5th.
Really?
So they got even better defensively. Now also they have Ilya Sorokin.
But here's the thing too, like Carolina can't score either. No Svech, no Pacioretty. You're literally your 2 biggest goal scorers on your team. You know what I mean? You get more goal scoring from your defense than you do from your forwards.
Yeah, not many.
And I'm not even lying when I say that.
Not many teams can say that. All the years that Barry Trotz was there with the Islanders, like they were great because of that defensive system he deployed and whatnot.
Yeah.
They were never higher than 21st for goals for. But because their defense was amazing.
Ranta has a better save percentage than Frederick Anderson this season too.
Yeah, I think they want to start him. I think fans want him in that to start.
Who?
Ranta.
Dude, you might as well just call up Kachekov. I'm being so serious. Or give Ranta game 1 or 2 at least.
I mean, they have options.
They do have options, but I mean, I'm taking dude, and then if Sorokin gets hurt or sucks, you have Varlamov. I think I take Varlamov over Ranta and Anderson alone.
Really?
Dude, yeah.
I mean, what do you have, like a 907 or something?
Who?
Varlamov.
That's what you think? Dude, he has like a 915 this season.
Are you serious? Let me look.
I'm pretty sure he does. Last time I checked, he does.
He has a
913 in 23 games.
Am I looking at the wrong year? Oh my god, I am.
Yeah, he has a 913.
Yeah, that year he had a 911.
But, I mean, will Varlamov get any ice time? Probably not. But I'm just saying, in case anything happens, because you do need to think of it, the worst, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing, I mean,
And the Penguins had to go to Louis Domingue in Game 1.
The Islanders are getting Matt Barzal back, and I tell you how much I love. Matt Barzal is probably one of my favorite players in the league because I love watching him play.
And even dude, he popped off in the bubble.
Barzal?
Yeah.
I don't
or
remember.
like both of the deep runs they had, he did. I mean, it wasn't point per game, but no one's ever going to be point per game on the Islanders in the playoffs. But he was their leading point scorer, as he should.
Yeah. I mean, even when he was injured this year, all the games he missed, he finished with 51 points.
Yeah.
He was still second in the team.
Yeah. Honestly,
Like he drive Matt. I don't know how Sebastian Aho plays. I don't know like what his bread and butter is. To be honest, you would know better than I do. But Matt Barzal is such a play driver in the fact that he can create so much space with the way he skates and the way he sees the ice. I mean, the fact they're getting him back and they're out Svech and Pacioretty, which I mean we knew they were going to be out Pacioretty, but
I mean, I think I'm gonna go Islanders in 7.
I'm going probably Hurricanes in 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
Actually,
you
I
gotta
don't know. Wait, actually, I don't know.
Because
I want the Islanders to.
Okay, Sorokin. It's gonna be if he does, it's gonna be a 1 game. Sorokin's not letting in more than 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, maybe not even more than 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a defensive system.
So, he that's probably your biggest goal scorer. It's not Jordan Staal. Teravainen is not scoring goals this year. He had a down year.
He's still a good player.
Kotkaniemi, I don't think he's gonna come out in the playoffs. I mean, Marty Necas, you better hope. You literally need him to, or else you're not gonna win. Puljujarvi has been horrible. Foss is more of a grinder and energy guy. Same with Martinook. Same with Stastny. Jarvis, hopefully you get something from him too. Nason probably will. He has like 15 goals or something.
Yeah, he's like 40 points.
And you have Derek Stepan. That's the 4 core I just rattled off. How many pure goal scorers can you trust in that?
Yeah, you know what the Islanders have that the Hurricanes don't?
Hudson Fasching?
Yep. I don't know.
You actually gotta say
yeah, that's literally what I was going to say.
Yeah, I can't even. That's just an inside joke at this point, but screw Hudson Fasching. But I don't know. I'm going to take the Islanders. I am. And I think I can. Dude, they have Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat and Matt Barzal alone is better than what the Carolina has up front.
This is going to be tough. I mean.
And don't write off Cal Palmieri. He's a playoff performer, too. And Brock Nelson. That dude's. I hate how good he is.
I'm still going to go with my. It's gonna be so because the Hurricanes the reason why they're both good defensively is because they're good defensively in their own ways. The Islanders are good at like in zone defense, in the neutral zone, but the Hurricanes are such an amazing like forechecking team that like there's gonna probably be games where like Sorokin's gonna have his work cut out for him, like where he's gonna be making however many 40 plus saves. Because they're
gonna shoot. Carolina's definitely gonna get shots, but it's like what kind of quality shots are you guys gonna get? So I think that'll be. I'm probably not going to watch that series much just because I know much offense isn't going to come from it. But then again, that may be a reason other people will watch it because I know people love the lower scoring games in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But round 1, it's hard to watch every game though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's basically what I'm saying is it's definitely not going to be one of my priorities, but I will be interested to see how Carolina does because I think Carolina has way more pressure than the Islanders do.
Oh yeah.
I think honestly, if you're the Islanders going into that, I think you honestly might be more confident than the Hurricanes will be.
This will be probably one of the closer series.
Yeah.
We could also say this, and then someone gets swept.
Yeah, I think Carolina's is just built so differently. Like, because literally, if you look at their team, it's like it's nothing to write home about. Mm-hmm. For the most part, fully healthy, yes.
They're
But
great.
this team right now is what I'm saying. It's tricky, but who knows what can happen? I mean, Brady Shea and Brent Burns. They're gonna have to really continue because if they don't get goal scoring from their defense, I can tell you right now they're not gonna win because that's basically how they managed through the season. So,
It's going to be one of the closer series.
Yeah. We have time for one more series. I think there's only even one more series.
There's Florida, Boston, and then Winnipeg, Vegas, so you choose.
I think the Winnipeg, Vegas is kind of a waste of time to talk about.
Yeah, but we could also say that in your words. So to finish it up, we'll just do this one real quick. We have some stuff to do after this, but we'll do Boston, Florida. Who do you have?
It's Boston. It's Boston.
I will probably say.
If it was against the Islanders, maybe my answer would be different. But if Florida, I don't know. It's Alex Lyon against David Pastrnak.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably do Boston in 5. Florida will probably get a game.
Yeah. Now I got to be different. Boston in 6.
Boston in 4.
No, Boston. No, there is gonna. Okay, Boston 4. I'll say that's my sweep.
Even though the year that Matthew Tkachuk had, it's just like he cannot go up against that entire team of Boston. They are a 4-line team that can
They are.
Their 4th line can score goals. That not a lot, but they can score more.
And I think people forget. I mean, I think Boston still finished with 50 wins last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were like 50, 24.
But they barely got 50. But because remember, last year Boston kind of was like mediocre for most of the season, if you remember, and then they finally turned it on.
Yeah.
And they took Carolina to 7 games, or was it 6?
They
I think it was 7.
It was 7. Yeah, no, I remember up till I think it was Christmas. I mean, they were I remember at one point the record was 15-11 and something.
They weren't bad, but they weren't great by any means.
That's when I was like, yeah, it's finally happening.
Yeah, but now, I mean, I don't think Boston's going to win the Cup just because I believe in the President's Trophy curse. Mm-hmm. I'm an avid believer in that. But I definitely don't think they're getting out in the first round to Florida, to Alex Lyon.
Again, he basically dragged them into the playoffs, so who knows? But I mean, everybody.
I mean, but like that Boston defense is so much better than Florida's defense is pitiful. It actually is. Mm-hmm. It actually is like a laughing stock because you have Ekblad, Montour.
Fine.
And
good and fine.
Honestly, I don't. You saw Forsling. What is it even?
He did good this year.
41, 82.
I don't know if their defense is pitiful. Their defense.
They have offensive defensemen though. What shutdown defensemen do they have? Because Forsling, Montour, all of them are offensively minded.
You don't think? Well,
Ekblad's not that great defensively. I've heard.
I always see him as a 2-way.
Yeah, but like Gudis, Michael Benning, whoever that is, Casey Fitzgerald,
They just signed him.
Josh Mahura, Mark Stahl. Like that's your last 3 defensemen.
Yeah, I mean and then you look at,
and they have no one in the system that's even close to. I mean, Matt. Honestly, I have more faith in Matt Kierstead than Casey Fitzgerald or.
And you were talking. I remember you talked crap on that Matt Kierstead guy one time for some reason.
Yeah, but either way, what I'm saying is just like I don't know. I don't like the defense. I think, and you have Linus Olmark and Jeremy Swayman. So if one sucks, throw the other one in. Mm-hmm. Whereas you literally only have Alex Lyon.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think. I don't know, but then again, it's like is Hall and Foligno, are they going to be back in time?
I think Hall is right now. Hall's playing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just Foligno that's out for them. Yeah, I mean, it's just. I think it's going to be a physical series. I think it's going to be very physical.
Yeah, Paul Maurice is definitely going to be. You might see another one of those snapshots or little clips of him yelling at everybody about to take their head off.
Yeah, but if Florida gets into penalty trouble, I think it'll be over.
And real quick, I'll just say it: Vegas over Winnipeg. I'll say Vegas in 6. Actually,
I'm saying Vegas in 5. No, I'm actually going to agree because I think Hellebuyck can steal 2 games.
I might even say Vegas in 7. The issue with Winnipeg the last.
I'm actually so excited to see that rematch.
What? Oh yeah. Well, the difference between these two, or instead Winnipeg, even though the second half of the season they were not what they were the first half, is that they were still fine defensively. They just can't score. They just can't score. You wouldn't think that would be the issue. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that really wraps up what we have. I mean, there's still 2 series that still need to be finalized tonight, but hopefully we get something out beforehand. Don't know when, but it'll definitely be in the near future, 1,000%, and we'll definitely start uploading once a week. Or we'll definitely aim for 2. Probably 2 will be the max, but definitely be on the lookout for that. We're excited to be back. Definitely going to cover the playoffs as thoroughly and as in-depth as we can for sure. But other than that, is there anything else you want to say? Anything else to add?
No, we got a lot done for as much as we missed, so I'm glad we covered what we did.
Yeah, definitely time managed this one a lot. So we hope you enjoyed. If you have anything you want to hear us talk about or your takes, leave them in the comments for us to listen to. And we'll see you in a couple of days.
Yeah, we'll see you.